world record. Martinelli goes, Neuer's out of his goal. Martinelli, this will be 3 for Arsenal.
Since its inception in 1930, there has always been a FIFA World Cup every 4 years. The year is 2026, and this time around, with 48 teams, 104 matches across 16 cities of 3 host nations. Ladies and gentlemen, the FIFA World Cup is about to take place in a way we have never seen it before. Welcome to our preview to the 2026 FIFA World Cup right here on DOTT TV. I am Anthony Uche, and I will lead you through the first group of the tournament today. In Group A, you have co-hosts Mexico, you have South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia, also known as the Czech Republic. Mexico, of course, qualified automatically as co-hosts alongside the United States of America and Canada, and that meant there was no qualification process for them. But during that period on the FIFA calendar, the L3 under coach Javier Aguirre has been taking on high-profile friendlies to keep themselves up to feet and, to gel as a team ahead of such a very, very crucial period of their footballing history. They will be the first country, or the Azteca Stadium instead, will be the first stadium to host 3 World Cup tournaments, and that alone is a thing of pride. But also, L3 are looking to make sure that this time around they make a bigger splash than they did in the previous editions of the FIFA World Cup. And with the presence of talismanic goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa, who looks set to make his 6th FIFA World Cup appearance at the ripe old age of 41, a lot of the people out there, including me as a neutral, looking to see how well he goes, because Guillermo Ochoa is one of the goalkeepers whose career seems to come alive whenever the World Cup is around, makes some very, very fantastic, dumbfounding saves. Sometimes you wonder how he does that only when it is the World Cup period. But then, of course, for Mexico, pressure is real because, of course, you're playing at home. The 3 of their group games will be played around the 3 stadiums that will host World Cup games in Mexico. That is the Mexico City Stadium, aka the Azteca Stadium, the Guadalajara Stadium, and one other stadium in their country. That is added pressure. You'll be looking to perform in front of a home support who expect you to do a lot of things. Of course, that is additional pressure without doubt. And that journey will start on the 11th of June at the Azteca Stadium when they play host. Mexico play host to South Africa in an opening game at the World Cup, which coincidentally was the opening game but in a reversed fixture at the World Cup in 2010 when South Africa hosted and played Mexico in the opening game. If you remember that fantastic goal from Sipiwe Shabalala, then you are in sync with me. Of course, we head to the second group, and that is South Africa, who we already talked about. South Africa hadn't played at the World Cup since they hosted it in 2010. It's taken them 16 very long years, but finally, the Bafana Bafana have made it to the World Cup. Led by coach Hugo Broos of Belgian descent, but has been one of the longest serving international managers currently on the job, and he has done a fantastic job. Did really well on the African continent on a couple of occasions, on the AFCON, the last 2 editions, and qualifying out of a very, very difficult group that had Nigeria in it to make it to the World Cup. Nigeria was in that group, Tanzania was in that group, and South Africa found a way to finish first in that group and qualify for the FIFA World Cup for the first time since 2010. And then, of course, you talk about South Korea. South Korea with the likes of Son Heung-min, Kim Min-jae, as well as Kang In-lee in the team. They made very, very light work of the Asian Confederation qualification process, finishing very, very top with the group alongside the likes of Japan to qualify for the World Cup. And this, extraordinarily, is the 11th straight World Cup that South Korea will be at. That is something absolutely out of the ordinary. And then, of course, we talk about Czechia or the Czech Republic. They went through the very, very difficult qualification process of playing the UEFA qualifications, and ultimately they did it and qualified for their first World Cup in a very long time. Matter of fact, since 2006, this is the first time Czechia are making it to a World Cup, and with the likes of Thomas Suchek, the likes of Vladimir Sufal in the team, it is left to be seen how far they will go. Not forgetting Patrick Schick, who is one of the best strikers when it comes to football on the European continent. Thank you very much for watching this episode of our World Cup Preview 2026 right here on DOTT TV. I remain Anthony Uche, and join me for the next one.
From Harrison, that is a massive world record.